All I know is that they've never brought it in someone who's a vector who is contaminated and can spread it to the United States, to Spain, to Germany. And there's a lot of weird PSYOP stuff going on and some big genetic engineering companies we're looking at with these vaccines and treatments, that this may be the primer for a contrived outbreak or something down the road to try to make literally hundreds of billions of dollars off of an Ebola vaccine that they can then piggyback something else into. The reason we say that, they've done this before. They've been caught adding stuff to vaccines. They've been caught releasing things before. I mean, it's been declassified. Everybody knows about that. The H1N1 was a viral simulant or a genetically engineered, dialed down virus to simulate flu spread the year before they officially released it and called it a pandemic when it wasn't a pandemic. Then they rolled out the vaccine that had incredible health problems and lowered immune systems, according to the Canadian government. Then I had Wolfgang, I think it was Woodar, gone. I forget I'm going from memory. The head of the EU Commission, check that for me, because there's two different Wolfgangs. I may have conflated one of them. To say that it was genetically engineered, that they'd looked at it, and that it was all a big staged event. Well, here's this headline: Samaritan's Purse chief admits Ebola out of control, close quote, slams Drudge for reporting it. I look at the Drudge report. It can drive a lot of panic. So we have Geraldo Rivera, and we have congressional testimony bashing the Drudge report. And again, why do I defend the Drudge report so much? Not just that Matt Drudge is a trailblazer and links to our news stories that keep being proven to be accurate, and he believed in us and did the research and knows we're at least trying to get it right. We make mistakes sometimes. So we're in the same boat in many respects, and we're libertarian paleo-conservatives, I think it's fair to say. Constitutionalist. But we're in the same boat. If they can take down Drudge, you got the Pentagon talking about him, you got the White House doing it, they can take everybody down. And it just shows how the elite aren't all powerful, that Drudge was linking to German newspapers, French newspapers, Infowars.com, analysts, experts coming out and saying they're covering up the Ebola. It was credible what we were saying. It's been confirmed today by the World Health Organization that, yes, it's a pandemic, yes, it's a crisis, yes, it's worse than we thought. Well, it's come out they were covering it up. We were right. These articles ran last week, early last week, middle of last week, through the weekend. Geraldo Rivera freaked out. A bunch of people freaked out. But we're just reporting the truth. And now they admit we're correct, but Drudge is bad. And again, Drudge is now the figurehead of independent, non-state-run media. If you got to pick one figurehead worldwide, like Ron Paul's the figurehead of libertarianism, Matt Drudge is the figurehead, but also there's a real person behind it, but still the symbol, the flag of internet freedom, libertarian type ideas. So they're all hating him. We have to recognize that because we have power, because we're effective. I want you to know the good news. The government has the lowest approval rating ever. I'm going to cover that after the break. Let's go to this Good Samaritan clip.
Again, I will say that Ebola is out of control in West Africa, and we are starting to see panic now around the world. People want to know. I don't know about you folks. I look at the Drudge report. It can drive a lot of panic. And, you know, there's a guy in New York. There's a woman in England. There's 6 people have been tested in the United States. There are reports that there are 340 Peace Corps workers coming back. I greatly appreciate the help of the CDC.
You know, I don't think he's even so much bashing Drudge as the media spun it that way. But the issue is drive a lot of panic, and then they go on to admit, but it is spreading, it is getting worse. Ebola, an international health emergency, World Health Organization, are they driving panic? The UN Health Agency is calling for global response to the West Africa epidemic to stop and reverse the spread of the disease. What they really don't like is that Infowars.com, DrudgeReport.com, and others know what's going on. We break the stuff first. and then it doesn't allow them to control the narrative. That's what they're really upset about. Not that we're causing panic. We're trying to cause a response to stop a crisis getting worse.